I had an interesting comment from one of the members, Micah, who said that he had gotten a little, "Hey, what's up, Reggie? How you doing, man? You getting the day off today? Are you working? What's going on with you today?" Um, Anyways, there was a comment on the group, and Micah basically said that he didn't get accepted to one of the libraries he had sent his music to, and my response to that was, "Welcome. You're now a professional. Welcome to my world, right?" As professionals, we have to be dealing with rejection, not all the time, but on a pretty, regular basis. That we're always trying to get our music in bigger and better placements and opportunities. And I still get rejected. And I've been in this business almost 10 years. So I kind of wanted to do as a sort of working 2 tracks a day. Awesome, man. I love to hear that. Yeah, I don't know if you're composing for the submission thing that I have going on this month, but whatever you're working on, man, keep up the hustle. That's great to hear. Um, Anyways, back to this comment. We get rejected even when we've been in this business for years and years and years. And I've definitely I've had my fair share of rejections, and I've had a couple in my life that they hit hard. I mean, I remember, I'll tell you guys a personal story. I had a film I was going to be the composer for. This was 2013, so this is a couple years back. But I was a composer or I was hired to be a composer for this indie film. And I got started on it, and I basically bit off way more than I can chew. That was sort of the lesson I learned there. The music supervisor that hired me, we had been old friends, old buddies. We'd even started like a band together way back in the day. So it was sort of like a, "Hey, dude, like, here, take this gig. It's going to pay you great, and you're a great composer. You can handle it, no problem." And I thought, yeah, sure, no, whatever. Turns out, like, this film literally needed like so much music, and it needed like music that you have to spend, probably a week at a time per track, making sure that like all the strings were automated properly. It's not just like, "Hey, make a cool hip hop beat and throw it in the background." No, this is like in the foreground. These are cues that need to correspond with certain things that were going on screen. So bottom line, it was a lot more work than I was prepared to do. What's up, Ben? See you joined, man. How you doing, dude? A lot more work than I knew what to do with. So I'm about 2 weeks into the project, right? And I'm starting to get this feeling of like, I think I had a 3 or 4 week turnaround time, and I wasn't even like a tenth done with the music cues, and I was just panicking, panicking, panicking. And I was talking to my friend and saying, "Hey, man, maybe you can get some like buy us some time. Maybe tell him we just need some extra time for this or that." And he was coming back to me, giving me some pushback, and just saying, "Listen, can't give you any more time, man. You got to knock this out. If you can't knock it out, we got to hire some more people to help you out, and we got to get this done or whatever." So, long story short, we tried to hire a couple people to help us out, and the people that we hired were just not on par. Their skills weren't there to get us to where we needed to go. But at the end of the day, I have to take responsibility for it. I signed on to this gig, and I didn't know what I was getting myself into, or really maybe should have asked some better questions about really what's required of me. So at the end of the day, I actually had to walk away from the entire project, and I told the guy, like, "Sorry, man, I can't go forward with this. It's just I'm not gonna be able to deliver for you. I'm not your composer. I think you need a bigger team. You need some other situation here, or you need, whatever the situation is. I'm just not your guy. If you need it by this deadline, I got to get out." And it was an ugly end of that situation. I ended up like, basically getting fired off of the gig, even though I'm kind of resigning, but it was really more of a firing. I really was let go. And they ended up getting somebody else that they had worked with before, that they had a strong relationship with, and this other composer had, I guess, a whole team working behind them so they could crank out stuff a lot faster, whereas I was a one-man band. But man, that gig, that set deep into my subconscious for at least a year. That was something that really dug into my confidence for a long time. And it took a while to kind of bounce back from that to finally get to the point where I felt confident about my skills again. So you guys are not alone. So Micah, sorry, man, but you know what? That's just step one in this business, is you got to get said no to a couple of times. It's like you got to just pay your dues, and you got to just keep going. I kind of titled this live video basically, "No despair, never give up, and fake it till you make it." And what I mean by that is, it's hard to like transmit to you guys what I'm trying to communicate, but really what it is like I know that there's like for Micah, I know that your mind right now is telling you, maybe I can't do this, right? Maybe my music's not there. Maybe I'm not gonna be able to make it. This isn't gonna work out for me. I know those voices are in your head right now, man, because those voices have been in my head. And when I got fired from that one job, they were definitely like attacking me for a long time. So I know you guys get those voices from time to time when you don't get what you want, when you get rejected, when you don't see the progress you want to see right away. But aside from all that, I want you just to think about what does that fear and that voice doing for you in that moment? Like, what is its purpose? I believe its purpose is to try to protect you from feeling that feeling again, right? It's a crappy feeling. Nobody likes to feel like they got rejected or their music got rejected. So that voice is really what it's trying to do in your subconscious mind is say like, hey, don't do that again because that really sucked and that hurt. Don't do it again. Like, we don't want to do that again. Let's just try something else. And I know that that's like tempting to just give up and to not want to move forward when, doing something a little safer will sort of make sure that you don't have to face that kind of rejection again. But I don't have to tell you guys that if you don't risk anything, you don't gain anything. You guys know that. It's just like a life lessons 101. You have to risk something in order to get where you want to go in life. You guys are old enough to know that. I don't have to teach you that. So that voice, even though it is trying to protect your ego, I don't think it's worth listening to. Or at least you could listen to it and just notice it's there, but don't believe it. Like, that's the difference, right? This voice is telling you that you might not make it, it might not work out. It's one thing to just go, okay, well, I'm noticing there's a voice in my head telling me that I maybe won't do well at this, and okay, I can understand that. And then there's a difference between that and then going like owning that voice and saying, I won't make it. Yeah, this won't happen. And this is all subconscious. This isn't even things that you say out loud. This is just all happening in your mind when you face rejection. So, I wish there was a way that I could transmit this specific skill set to you guys, because it's probably one of the main reasons why I got to get through all that BS and just get to a point where I was doing this full time was I just turned that off. I mean, not really turned it off, but just said to hell with you, like to that voice, to that, like all those fears and doubts. I said, what are those things doing for me right now? They're just making me feel worse about everything. So I have a choice. I can either listen to those voices and I can say, all right, yeah, I'm probably not going to do well and this ain't going to work out and what's the point of all this? Or I can just say, that voice isn't doing anything for me. Like, that perspective of calling myself a failure and not doing well it's not doing anything for me. So why don't I just ignore it and push on to the next one? And rather than seeing it as a failure, I just see that as step one, right? Let's say there's 50 steps to get to where I want to be in life. And I just got through step one, which was facing some hard rejection. And every entrepreneur and every business owner and every musician and every president, everybody on planet Earth faces rejection, right? So you just got through step one. So Micah, that's why I say congrats, you're now a professional. You might not feel like you're a professional because maybe you're not making your full income or maybe any money yet, but getting that first rejection and sort of getting your cages rattled a little bit, if you can get through that, that's your test. Like, you get through that, you become a pro. You give into that and you walk away, well, then guess what you are? You're an amateur, right? So hopefully that helped explains. What's up, Charles? I see you just tuned in, man. How you doing? So I hope that explains my perspective on why you should never give up, don't lose hope. And this fake it till you make it idea. Sometimes that helps if you get into like an alter ego. So if you're not seeing the success you want, or you're not getting, like, you face rejection like Micah faced, being in your own skin and in your own shoes might not give you that confidence of like, brush it off, no big deal. I know I got it. Sometimes it's hard to believe that. So when I say fake it till you make it, I mean actually like pretend you're a platinum award-winning producer that's won 20 Grammys and the whole world loves your music. And I know that's not true. You know that's not true. This is called make-believing. This is called pretending. The reason why we're doing that is because we're putting ourselves in a mindset that's already like imagine the confidence you wish you had all the time. Just make believe. Pretend like you have that confidence. And if you had that confidence and you had those awards on your shelf and you had those Grammys and all that stuff, how would you feel if one person or one company said, no thanks, not really interested? Like, what if you were the Beatles, right? After they obviously had their success and they got rejected. You guys know those stories about record labels that say these guys will never blow up. Yeah, it happens. Imagine you were the Beatles and one record station says, nah, we're not really interested in playing your music on our station. Do you think the Beatles would be like, oh, damn guys, maybe we gotta sell our guitars. This is just right. I mean, it's ridiculous. Of course, they'd be like, whatever, you're lost. I'm moving on to somebody else. It's all good. You have every right to say no, but I will prove you wrong in the end because you'll be regretting that you didn't sign me back then, right? So fake that confidence, even though you don't feel it. I know it doesn't seem natural for you to even think that way. Put that mindset on. It's almost like you wear a mask for a little while because that is just as fake of a voice as the voice that's telling you you're worthless and you're not going to succeed, and the one that's telling you to give up, right? They're both fake. Neither one of them are actually real. They're both just perceptions. They're both just imagined perspectives that are in your mind. So if you're going to have make-believe voices coming into your head and telling you things, why don't you control that a little bit and steer it in a direction that's actually going to get you somewhere beneficial and somewhere where you want to be, rather than it holding you back and keeping you just, having a pity party and then giving up and moving on. So, all right, looks like my program is almost done exporting, so I'm going to log off here. Unless you guys have any last minute questions or let me know what's going on with you guys. I feel like I've been talking for a long time. I don't even know how long this video is. So, but hope you guys enjoyed that. Hope that gives you a little bit of perspective on what kind of a mentality it's going to take for you guys to get through the weeds and then to make it to the point where you're doing this for a full-time job and you can get out of your work world or your 9 to 5 or whatever you're doing. It will take. It's not easy, right? If it were easy, somebody pointed this out in the comments today. They said if it was easy, everybody would do it. It's absolutely right, absolutely true. If this were an easy business, every single producer would have a catalog out there and they'd be pulling in tons of money. It's not easy, okay? There's a couple of skills that you need, and once you have those skills, it becomes easier and easier as time gets on. That's what I want you to know. It's not always this difficult. Hey, what's up, Tim? Good to see you, man. I don't know if I've seen you live here yet, but I'm glad you're tuning in now. It gets easier as time goes on. I'm living proof of that, guys. It gets more and more enjoyable as the years go on and as your skills progress and everything. So keep up the good work. Keep submitting tracks. Keep sending me some cool stuff. I'm getting excited about the songs that I'm hearing and the new mixes that you guys are posting. So keep up that good work. And again, get to work. We only got, 14 days now to the end of the month. So got basically 2 weeks. And that's it. I'm going to shut up now, get back to my computer, do what I was supposed to be doing here. You guys have a great rest of your night. We'll talk to you soon.